The Pico Youth and Family Center, what we've done is developed a dual model, a dual approach for how we deliver services. So we have direct services, and then we do community organizing and leadership development. So it's two things. But on the direct services, counseling, case management, tutoring, like we have right now students from UCLA who come and do the tutoring. These are first generation, mostly Latino students that are doing the tutoring, for the young people. We do leadership development. We have the recording studio. We're adding a film program, and so that's like our direct services. And then we also, we do our organizing around campaigns. So like someone will say, man, we got a problem over here with police reform, then that might be the campaign that we work on that year, But we've done ethnic studies, school discipline, community gardens, crosswalks, environmental justice. So those are like the 5 campaigns that we focused on in the past 12 years. We opened up the first public recording studio in the city's history, and so in 2002 when we started, hip hop was going to be a central part of our programming, because we wanted to make sure that we get real sort of culture, that our culture is represented, within the youth programming. Because in the city of Santa Monica, like the Boys and Girls Club, Police Activities League, there's a lot of different youth services, but none of these programs really spoke to the youth in the Pico neighborhood. And the Pico neighborhood is like the barrio of Santa Monica, right? We have a low-income part of the city, which a lot of people don't want to talk about, but we live here, and this was our culture. For me, like what kept me, away from the gang element, and a lot of us, what saved us was, hip hop, So when we started, writing and spending all weekend, just, hanging out, writing lyrics and making songs and all that, I know that was going to be effective in keeping young people out of trouble, keeping people occupied. And then as the technology changed, with Pro Tools and everything, we said, man, we can teach marketable skills and then put out these products, So
you've been here since the jump.
Yeah, since a freshman in high school.
Wow. Yeah. And what brought you? What made you get close to this shit?
I mean, it's the realest organization in the city, man. We fight back. We don't shut up. You know what I mean? And we do that through the music. We do that with movement, with action, and we keep it real.
And then over here, you've also been here during the time where technology has gotten better, and now you can have a whole setup like this. And now don't you do the music production now?
Yeah, I'm actually the music consultant and technically the house engineer. Okay. So I'll record everybody and then teach everybody how to cue in and produce, and a little bit more the business side of it, understanding how to maneuver to making this a career. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it got buff, but we had graffiti all over the walls. So this whole organization is modeled after hip hop.
You learn Pro Tools, that's the 2 goals that we have here, is that we're teaching the skill of production, and then also we're putting out product, So
one of the catalysts for starting this organization was all the violence that was going down in the late 90s over here. Yeah. How y'all deal with that in terms of young people coming in that they may have a history of being in street organizations or being in violent settings, and then now they arrive here? How does that that unlearning kind of work in terms of the work y'all do here in the studio?
Yeah, I think we take a lot of the terminology putting in work. For example, you putting in work is shooting other people. And we're so we'll take terminology and say we're putting in work. Or we'll take what's gangster. This is what is gangster? Gangster isn't shooting your own people. I'm saying? Gangsters fight in City Hall. It takes baby steps though. Because you gotta. It's how do you take someone that is not conscious and then take them to the process of becoming conscious? And so there's steps to that. You can't just say you can't just talk to a gang member and talk about Marxism and then all of a sudden he's like, oh man, yeah, it ain't good to fight poor people. He ain't gonna get that. But if they hang out around here, if they hear the way we talk, or they hear us promote our mission, our vision, and our principles, eventually they're going to pick up on some of it, and once they pick up on some of it, you see the transformation happen. Yeah.
Peace, y'all, and you Don't Stop Rooftop Live. We are here in Los Angeles, California. We have the pleasure of being with one of the illest DJs on the West Coast in the world. His name is DJ Ethos. Thank you for being here with us, my brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you
tell
for
the
the
people, why Ethos? What's the background behind Ethos?
Oh, well, Ethos came about in my philosophy class when I was going to college. Yeah, the Ethos means disposition. You can apply it to character, culture, movement, You know, it's like saying that you say the same thing as I do, but it's more credible coming from me because I have the ethics behind it.
Right.
You know,
right.
so if
Valid.
I'm on the tables, yeah, it's valid. It's
Right.
like an official stamp, the
I like
ethos
that.
on the
I like
tables.
that.
You know?
I never really even asked you that detail.
Hey, well, you know,
I'm illuminated on it now. So, Ethos, you came up, you've been DJing for a minute here. You are all over the LA scene and throughout the United States. Tell us about what got you into DJing and why you even started doing it.
Oh, wow. You know what? I remember just being very influenced by hip hop before I even knew it was called hip hop. Living in Mexico, where I was born and grew up, part of my childhood, I remember just trying to emulate and seeing what I was watching on TV from these guys spinning on their backs, and like the guy in the back. What was he doing? We didn't have names for that yet, you know, so we didn't really know. But before you knew, when I came to the States, one thing led to another, and I ended up falling in love with hip hop through just being on the street skating and hanging out and seeing my friend's cousin break out some turntables one day, and then that's when I started really getting into it and learning, like, oh, that's what those are, that's what this does, you know?
Right.
And he actually we went to go get records for him and stuff, and it was pretty cool, pretty influential, man.
That's so crazy because whenever we build with young people and try to teach them how to use the turntables, it's so crazy because there's a musical aspect, but there's also like a technical, like having to hook up the, you know, how you hook the needle up.
Every kid just wants to jump right on and either start scratching or turning on knobs and twisting everything, you know, and it's like, okay, cool, you know, let them get it out, you know.
Right.
But then, you know, you have to learn how the thing works, what the timing of it, it's an instrument. You can't just grab a guitar and start rocking out. You got to know what chords are what.
Ethos. Ethos.